Trevor Noah, who really has never been funny. That's why he got fired from The Daily Show. Coming out and attempting to make jokes now, saying that it's funny that Charlie Kirk was shot while defending the Second Amendment. I'll let you guys listen to this and you tell me how funny you think this is.
Meanwhile, here, comedians are shitting themselves. Don't say anything about Charlie Kirk. I wasn't going to say anything about... Yeah, but don't say anything about Charlie. I wasn't going to say anything about Charlie Kirk, but don't. There's nothing funny about it. Oh, now you tested me. I mean, there's nothing funny about it? You can't say there's nothing funny about it. No, there's nothing fun. No, don't say that, because as a comedian, I'll be like, I'm sure there's something funny about it. The guy was shot while defending guns. Do you understand how... I'm not even writing that as a joke. As a human, you have to admit that is an incongruous, funny thing that happens. You are there, you're like on stage and you're like, let me tell you why people should have guns. Wah-ha!
Yeah, I'm failing to find the humor in all of this, Alex. I don't know which part of that was funny.
I mean, it's kind of ironic, but I mean, I don't find it that funny. But, I what I find funny is how everybody around Charlie Kirk is acting very weird about the whole thing. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess his friends don't really agree on what happened. Like, Candace Owens saying one thing, all of his friends are saying another thing. And I thought that whole memorial was very strange in Arizona. I found the pyro weird. Obviously, everybody mourns differently, but that's the thing I find funny about it. People acting funny. Around.
I mean, I know Charlie freaking loved those pyros. I was just being totally honest with you. But I think one of the issues with that whole thing is out there. I don't think they, and this is just my personal opinion on it. I think you're right. I don't think they agree on the official.
I mean, I don't think Tyler Robinson killed him. I think whoever shot that shot did that on purpose when Charlie was talking about that. But I mean, I really think, I'm saying this as a Jew, man, not like that really holds any more weight. But I really think he was starting to turn on Israel. I mean, you saw Harrison Smith's tweet a few weeks ago before that whole thing happened, saying that Charlie kind of fears for his life and that someone close to him talked about Charlie fearing for his life. I mean, I think it's a very real thing. And, I know Charlie didn't really turn against Israel per se, but I think he was definitely on that trajectory. And I think I think this guy, and the reason they don't kill Nick Fuentes or someone like that is because they already have their niche. That's already what they are. But Charlie Kirk, my mom knows about Charlie Kirk. She's not even that political. My girlfriend's mom knows about Charlie Kirk. He's on every single boomer screen in a kitchen table, on their phone, on Facebook. And I think if he started to turn against Israel, the average normie would just be so against it now. And I think that's why he was taken out. I know I'm kind of deviating from the subject here, but that's my 2 cents on it.
I don't see the evidence of that. Like, him saying he feared for his life is sort of like, how many times I've hung out with Tim Pool and he's told me he fears for his life. Like,
right.
That doesn't, and it would have been a coincidence if something had happened. You'd be like, oh, he's been talking about it for 2 years, bro. Like, let it up. Like, he actually felt it for a long time, and Charlie was probably going through something. I just see zero evidence for anything other than that guy Tyler shot him on the roof and then tried to escape with his dad's gun.
Well, from what I don't understand is, he has a 4'1" gun and with skinny jeans, and he's walking up the stairs, bending his legs. They say he hit it in his pant leg. Is that like the official story?
I don't know. I thought it was disassembled. Did he disassemble it and reassemble it? I don't know.
I have no clue. It's just nothing really makes sense. And then him not even going to Utah State University. He knows exactly which building to go on. It just seems so planned. Like, I don't think he worked alone on it at all. If he is the one that pulled the trigger, I think he certainly had help.
Tyler Robinson, I don't think he definitely didn't work alone. I mean, you had this you're probably quite familiar with these like trans Discord groups.
Right.
And they were saying the day before, like, hey, something big's going to happen tomorrow. Here's a cause for celebration. So I look at that and I look at like, who would have more of an incentive to kill Charlie Kirk? Would it be Israel because he's like vaguely critical of like Jewish donors? Evidently.
Yeah.
Or would it be trans people who like feel directly, threatened by his rhetoric, which is his rhetoric is just like, hey, maybe you shouldn't like castrate yourself.
But yeah, no, both have definitely a motive to do it, I think. But what throws me off and that we really haven't had an answer on is that guy, George Zinn, who's just like the decoy saying, I did it. I mean, I get it.
Apparently now he's saying he was paid for the distraction. I don't know if that's true or there's any evidence.
Yeah, it's just that is such quick thinking for that guy to just be at that event, have no foreknowledge of it happening. You just see a guy shot. I mean, most people would be so shocked, like, what the fuck is going on? Yep. But he instantly knows to just start saying, it's me. I mean, we haven't had an answer on that guy. Then them finding child porn on his phone is ridiculous. But like, I don't know. I think I don't think Tyler Robinson and George Zinn knew each other. I don't think some old 71-year-old pedo knows this 22-year-old tranny. But I think they were working for the same people. So I don't know. I mean, no theory makes full sense. But we really haven't had an answer on that guy.
I think
yet.
like if there were a situation where there was Israeli interests that wanted to take out someone that was reorienting the right in an anti-Israel direction, Charlie Kirk would be very far down that list.
Well, I don't think so, because he is the guy that everybody on the right knows. Like, you know, my grandma or my aunt doesn't know about Nick Fuentes, but they know about Charlie Kirk. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows him. He's like the mainstream conservative.
I understand that, but I'm saying, like, as far as people that are that have mainstream appeal and that are tastemakers, there's people that have been far more explicit. And I mean, Charlie Kirk publicly was very pro-Israel.
Yeah.
There's people on the right that have, I would say, equal mainstream appeal that have had much more poignant sort of critiques of Israel. And even if that were the case, I don't think that would be cause for Israel to want to take them out. I just think it would be really sloppy.
Who do you think it was? Who do you think has that?
I mean, like someone like Tucker Carlson. I mean, Tucker Carlson has huge mainstream appeal.
Yeah.
And he would be someone that if you were, you know, trying to keep a lid on right-wing discourse, that would be someone that you would view as much more of a threat than Charlie Kirk. What I'm trying to say is that I really don't find it difficult to believe that the leftists broadly viewed Charlie Kirk as this huge threat and that they'd want to take him out because I mean that's what he did. Charlie Kirk, like you're saying, he came into the mainstream, he occupied it and reoriented it.
Yeah.
And that's a huge threat. If you're like a schizo leftist, I mean, like, yeah, you would view this guy as, you know, enemy number one.
The only difference I'd see is that Tucker Carlson never really had a lot of Israeli or Jewish donors or people backing him like that. But Charlie Kirk, I mean, at TPUSA events, I've heard from people that have gone to those, tons of rabbis there, tons of Jewish and Israeli donors that have helped Charlie Kirk out. So I don't know if it's them. I don't know if it could be them being offended at the betrayal of it, of we're giving all this guy all this money, but then he's saying this about us now. I have no idea, but I think I think both are plausible.
In regards,
honestly, I just think, like, you know, I think it makes a lot of sense that it would be Tyler Robinson. I mean, we have like the investigation. It seems all things are pointing towards him. And like I said, I mean, I think my hesitancy to sort of embrace this skepticism is because it really does feel like, I'm not saying you, but there is a lot of people that seem almost anxious to like let the left off the hook here. It's
right.
Like, it seems like he's suspect number one. Obviously, there's gonna be an investigation. He'll go to court, you know, innocent until proven guilty. But there seems to be this tendency from a lot of people sort of on the more like fringe right that just want to let the left off the hook here.
Well, it's the left's reaction to it, where it shouldn't even matter who actually killed. I mean, it does matter, but when it comes to the left, it shouldn't matter who killed Charlie Kirk. Their reaction to it, celebrating like freaking banshees that he died. I mean, I knew they wanted all of us dead at first, the left, but I think a lot of normies need to realize that the left, I think, does want a lot of us dead. I mean, even when we've had pedos, you know, take care of their own business and save the taxpayers' money, if y'all catch my drift, we've had 4 pedos that we've caught that have just not made it to court due to their own actions of ceasing to exist. Even in that case, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm not sad at it. I'm not mourning them. But even then, I'm still not celebrating like a freaking banshee. I'm not like dancing on their grave saying, yeah, it's another one. It's still a human life, but, you know, I'm glad they're gone, but I'm not, you know, going crazy. But the left going crazy at Charlie Kirk dying, I mean, whether it's Israel, whether it's the trans mafia or whoever, dude, I think it's very telling with them now, and I think the normies need to realize that.
It's this weird phenomenon of like people living in the internet where you can talk crap about somebody and it's like they're a computer video game. Their response is just in text. It's just more data. And like,
yeah.
And I mean, you saw today that the DOJ actually tracked down and arrested somebody that sent a death threat to Benny Johnson's house. I'm hoping that they keep this stuff up because you know what? I'm sure you get death threats constantly too.
Sometimes
to your inbox or whatever, even if it's just a DM on Twitter and stuff. And I mean, the swattings that happened to a bunch of conservatives earlier this year. Yeah, I mean, I was one of them, and we never heard anything about it. And they actually reached out to me recently, the FBI and actually Bondi, about that. About tracking these people down. So I'm hoping that we're actually now getting serious about putting an end to this because it's being glorified. These assassinations all over the place, you know, and they're laughing about it and they're joking about it and they're mocking it and they're making these people martyrs. Like, I mean, it all started with that Luigi Mangione guy up there in New York.
So the show that you guys did this morning, The Culture War, I can't you know, emphasize strongly enough. Everybody should watch that at some point this weekend. The Culture War this morning had Nick was on, Libby Emmons was the host, Andy No was on, James Klug was on, and
Richard McGinnis.
Yeah, Richard McGinnis was on. And they went through a lot of what Antifa does when it comes to financing, the organizations that are above board organizations that actually help finance them and funnel money to Antifa. It goes through what kind of people are the people on the ground, which, as we all know, they're the people that are, they're homeless people, they're people that don't have a lot to lose, because if you're out there, actually fighting with cops, you're not going to be the lawyer that's going to be fighting with the cops. You're going to be people that are, again, don't have a lot to lose. They're homeless or somehow mentally ill or that kind of thing. People that are looking for a reason to get into a scuffle with the cops, people that are down on their luck. But it's really important because we need an all angles strategy for taking care of this. Not only the stuff that Nick was just saying, but also, the people on the ground need to get wrapped up. The government needs to use every single legitimate lever of power at their disposal to put as much pressure as the federal government can, and that is a lot, to put as much pressure as the federal government can on Antifa and the connected groups, all the NGOs, the network of lawyers. There's it's extremely deep, and they went into the details today. You should all watch the Culture War from this morning, and you should get in touch with your representatives and let them know that you want legislation that will empower the federal government to do things. You want the president to be able to attack these organizations in every single legal way they can.
Posted this video. You actually retweeted it, Phil, about I think what Antifa's goals are is to evoke a fascist violent crackdown, so that then they'll be able to rally community support to their cause and be like, look, they really are fascists. We've been telling you for 15 years. Look, see? So going after swattings, using every legal possible means to go after the foot soldiers. If it spirals into what people perceive as a fascist crackdown, then Antifa gets their communist their momentum, because the community will come rally. And so we have to be aware. This is Saul's rules for radicals, Saul Alinsky, that their action is their opponent's response. They want this to become violent.
That's why I focus so much on it has to be lawful. It has to be within the realm of what the government has the legal authority to do. You cannot allow this stuff to fester. The reason that we have the problems that we do with Antifa and the left is because in 2016 and 2017 and 2018, the Trump administration didn't have the courage to actually put these organizations down.
I do agree that escalating, the force to rectify the situation is essentially called for. But when you look at saying just because it's legal, it's okay, you have to go back to look at what Mussolini was doing. They'll make laws that are unethical, and then they'll be like, hey, it's legal. And then is it ethical still, though? Will it make a communist
All
response?
of the things that Antifa does are unethical. The entire way the organization operates, they lie about what they're doing. They say that they're peaceful protesters while they're initiating violence against not just the ICE agents and federal agents, but they're initiating violence against people like Nick. They're initiating violence against people like Andy. They beat the absolute shit out of Andy. They smashed Katie Davenport in the face with a pole, blackened her face. They are absolutely going to say that they are legal and that they are just peaceful and stuff, and they're going to have a whole network of lawyers that are going to defend them, but they do everything they can to lie about it and to beat the absolute shit out of people that don't go along. That can no longer be allowed.
They blame you because they say that speech is actually violence, so they're actually just defending themselves. That's one of the arguments that they make pretty routinely.
Yeah, they'll be unethical, and they'll tell you you're the villain, and they'll keep doing it until they can get you to respond unethically, and then they'll highlight it and get their crowd to be like, oh, you were right the whole time. So
it's called DARVO, deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. So they do things to incite you, and then when you actually do something that is lawful in response, they will deny that they did anything, and they will say that they're the victims and you are the aggressor. This is typical of people that are abusive in abusive relationships. It's an emotional manipulation technique, and it's something that Antifa and people on the left do consistently. And your point is well taken. That's why I retweeted the thing that you said. That is what their goal is. But that doesn't mean that we're forced to say, palms up, dude, can't do nothing about it. We have to take these people off the streets and put them in jail. So that way because to leave them out in public is to actually harm the peaceful people and the normal people in America.
So in order to succeed, if there was going to be like a violent government response, and it doesn't have to be violent in the sense that they're breaking brains open, but they're just grabbing people, putting them in like force. Is it up to people like us, people that are communicating, to let the public know this is rational? This is actually, it might seem horrible, but it's not psycho, and so that there isn't a communist revolution response?
I think it is, and that's part of the reason why I'm very careful about the way that I articulate what I want to see. I want the federal government to use every legal means at its disposal. I want them to act in a professional and legal way, but I do think that it's perfectly legitimate for them to use force, because if you don't, you're gonna end up with regular Americans saying, well, the government doesn't do anything, they don't protect me, and eventually it will be regular Americans versus Antifa, and that's the last thing you want.
I agree about using force, but everything legal concerns me, because as far as I know, the president can issue a drone strike on an American building and kill Antifa inside, even with civilians.
The president can't do that in the United States.
Are you sure he has the drone strike?
So whether or not the president will is a different question.
But assuming it's legal,
it is not legal for the president to do that kind of stuff in the United States. Right?
I don't know. I think it is. If there's terrorists,
it's not. No, it's not. That's why Barack Obama actually was never used drone strikes outside of the U.S. Inside of the U.S., it's always been a situation of we use the FBI or what have you, law enforcement, to pick up terrorists. There's never been a time where the federal government. Now, I know you're thinking about Philadelphia when the Philadelphia police dropped the bomb on that.
And I was just thinking about Israel using the Samson option.
But that's not in the U.S. That's not in the U.S. We're talking about inside the U.S., right? There has never been a time where the president or the federal government has used military strikes like that. They've used the National Guard for peacekeeping and stuff, but they've never had a military strike. It is illegal. And of course, the president, it's possible that a president could change the law, or they could try and change the law. But as of right now, and historically, there's never been a strike from a drone in the United States by the federal government.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.